Welcome to Senior's Last Word. I'm Aldrin Suga. Senior, the Euros are done. Copa America is done. A new season is brewing. We need to know who are the best players right now in either European football or world football. This has nothing to do with the Ballon d'Or. It has everything to do with the debate after especially Euro 2024 and Copa America. Player like Neymar coming out to say there is no question Vinicius Jr. is the only deserving winner of Ballon d'Or. Others from England are saying no way, it has to be Rodri. This guy has been exceptional. The two players I want to focus on right now, Jude Bellingham, Vinicius Jr. One European, the other South American. Jude Bellingham is 21 years of age. Vinicius Jr., 22 years. You could say same age. Obviously, Jude Bellingham, the younger ones. At this age, Vinicius Jr. already two-time winners of the Champions League with Real Madrid. Of course, he's won La Liga as well. Jude Bellingham, already winner of the Champions League. He has also won La Liga. Vinicius Jr. voted as MVP last season's Champions League. Jude Bellingham, best player in La Liga in his first season. You've got to ask yourself the question, who is the better player? Vinicius Jr., an attacking wing forward. Jude Bellingham, an attacking midfielder. Different positions. Yet, in terms of impact, if they are good enough, they must have an impact on team performances. Who of these players is better than the other? When it comes to class, they both have class. The entertainment value that they both have, what can I say? Vinicius loves to play down the left. He reminds me of Neymar at times with the skill set that he has. Other times, you remember Robinho. He has elements of Robinho. But then again, Vinicius is so swift, so quick. And in scoring that goal in the final of the Champions League and being voted man of the match of this recently concluded Champions League final, you think he's a big game player. 2 successive seasons coming out in the final to impact the game. At times you thought he dominated it. He's turned out to be a nightmare for defense. The problem is he's an enigma, because the same thing you see him do for the club, you don't see him do enough for Brazil. At 22, Neymar was way ahead in terms of impact and influence with the national team, doing things that much older players could only dream of. Vinicius is still a long way to go to reach those heights. Bellingham, he is the player who has come through this England setup to play football like the big players on the continent, because England is not known to produce players who can compete at continental level. By the way, just in case you want to remind you, only Stanley Matthews in the 1950s and Michael Owen in 2001 have won the Ballon d'Or. 2 English players in the history of the award. One in the 50s, the other Michael Owen. Aren't English footballers good enough to compete with the big talents on the continent or elsewhere? This is a question you guys must entertain, because Jude Bellingham suddenly looks like he can break this duck. Yes, we've had players like Gary Lineker, David Beckham, Steven Gerrard, Paul Scholes, Wayne Rooney, Alan Shearer. None has ever been good enough. Steven Gerrard coming close for that award, never crossing the line. In truth, every generation that has produced world-class players for England, when you look at the other nations, Spain, Italy, and the others, Germany, France, they've been bigger players. And that's why English players just can't make it for that Ballon d'Or. But Jude Bellingham, at 21, you think he could finally be the player to step in. When you look at his equals, yes, right now we are comparing him with Vinicius Jr., who is a South American. But let's talk Europe. Who is like Jude Bellingham? Attacking midfielder who has his package. As a player, he doesn't really look or plays like an Englishman. He is more like a Spaniard. But then, he's not just an attacking midfielder. If you score 19 goals in a league, you are almost a striker. You score 4 goals in the Champions League. You go on international tournaments and score like he did this particular ended season. 2 goals at the Euros, and also he scored in 2020. At 21 years of age, there is so much potential in this guy. And the way he plays his football, for me, is what tells you he has too much in his locker. Today, if you put Vinicius Jr. on one side and Jude Bellingham on the other, and you blow the whistle and say, game off, I think you'd see both players bring the same on the table. Probably Vinicius Jr. would put you on the edge because he's a forward, a winger who just loves that ball, brings it at you, runs at you, is penetrating, he's scary, he's threatening, he's probably scoring. But Bellingham, his guile, his craft, his elegance, he has presence, his technique, entertainment value, flair, a knack for goals. He roams the field. He's dominant on the field. One of the players who will never be invisible on the field. He has maturity about him. He doesn't even make late runs in the box. He's always in the box, same way he's outside it. Consistent. Playing well for club and country in all competitions. In the league, when he was in Dortmund, he was the player in Bundesliga. He's moved to La Liga, and it's like he's always been there. When he wears that English shirt, he looks like he's been part of that setup for many years. Today, Neymar argues it has to be Vinicius. He's exciting. He does things that you can only dream of. In the big games, he shows up. He is proving to be consistent. He can be wasteful, he can be emotional, he can be moody, but he's a fantastic talent. He still has one thing to do for me. Can he get that? Wear that Brazilian shirt and start delivering in the same way. For as long as he's still suffering in that yellow shirt, I am tempted not to put him ahead of Bellingham. So who is better between Jude Bellingham and Vinicius Jr. in this moment? Today as we speak, one is 21 and that's Bellingham, the other 22, so many years ahead of them. But right now, in this moment, who is the better player? My money will go to Bellingham. I think he's more complete, and I think his value will rise with every season that he plays in La Liga. He's a poster boy, he's lovable, he's likable, and he's damn confident and very sure of his game and skill set. Jude Bellingham for me is better than Vinicius Jr. in this moment at this time. And that's my last word.